Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today we're taking a look at something rather interesting. This is a product that's not even yet advertised by Sears, but we got it here on this channel here for a quick look. This is the Craftsman ProSeries True RMS Industrial Multimeter. This may be found in your local Sears stores. You're not going to find this in Lowe's or the Stanley Black & Decker sourced Craftsman products these days. This is a Sears sourced product that maybe in your local Sears stores, if you still have one and yours hasn't went out of business, maybe Sears hometown as well. And so what this is, this actually has Bluetooth on it, known as a smart meter. We got a QR code here. We'll get to that in a little bit. So what this is a root mean square averaging multimeter. It's IP67 rated so that it's waterproof for use outdoors. You know, for some reason you need to be testing electrical circuits when it's wet. Not that that's a great idea, but I guess it's capable of doing that. Comes with a 2-year warranty. Got some questions about how well that would actually be honored given the current situation for Sears and their stock price being below $2 these days. But maybe I'm being a cynic. And so on the back here we can see this is good for up to about 1,000 volts AC, about 1,000 volts DC, up to about 10 amps of DC and about 10 amps of AC, and resistance up to 40 mega ohms. Also measures temperature as well as frequency with a duty cycle up to 99.9%. Temperature range up to 572 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's open up this package and see what you get. This is, just so we're unambiguous here, made in China, distributed by Sears Brand Management. And part number 3419746, the Craftsman ProSeries True RMS Industrial Multimeter. All right, now that we got the clamshell packaging opened up, if we open this up, we have our meter. We have our card. Tucked inside of here is our owner's manual. And on the back, this is just discardable. Recycle that. And then we have a nice cloth case, zippered up, Craftsman ProSeries on it. Even has a handy, I guess, clip that you could hang this from. Let's open this up and see what kind of goodies that you get with this. First of all, we have a battery. GP Supercell, not for retail sale, 0% mercury. Can't say I've ever heard of this brand of battery. Made in China. It's a 9-volt battery. We also have a hanging clip. It's interesting, this is red. It says Craftsman ProSeries on it. I would have expected this actually to be yellow for the ProSeries branding rather than red. Interesting. We have our leads. This is a nice heavyweight set of leads. I like this already. Reminds me of some Fluke leads. And then we have a thermocouple and a K-type adapter for taking temperature. And then we also have a set of plugs here to cover up the unused plugs on our meter. Presumably this is also important for making it IP67 waterproof. So now if we're looking at the meter, it's not going to do anything right now because the battery's not in it. We flip this over. There's a nice little kickstand on the back so we can set it up. That's nice. It's got this rubberized housing. It gives a nice positive grip to it. I like that. And you got a little clips here in the back where you could store your leads. And to add the battery, we're going to need this is a 00 Phillips head screwdriver. We'll open this up here, and this should be our battery access. It'd be nice if this were a little easier rather than you having to use a screw, but that's the way it is. There's our snap there. And then our fuses. We've got one fuse and a second fuse here. Let's see, what can we know? These are SIBA branded fuses. Can't say I know much about that. We'll pop in our battery here. This just snaps right on, obviously. There we go. There's our meter. Now let's take this from the off and then flip this on. We've got a nice LCD display. It's got solid contrast to it. This is auto ranging, so you don't have to sit and try to guess what it is. It's also auto power off. And so this root mean square, and the reason why this is more industrial or higher end, is due to the root mean square averaging technique that this utilizes. Your traditional or your cheaper multimeters like this one, this is my trusty Craftsman multimeter for years, is just a straight up averaging multimeter, but if you get a non-sinusoidal waveform, the average may not be correct. So if you've got some sort of weird waveform, you want to go with an RMS meter. Now let's take a look at the leads. The primary set of leads that it came with here. These are really nice silicone looking leads. This is a sign of a quality product as well. Yep, and you can take those off to get a finer tip. And then these actually are sealed up here out of the package. So we've got a red and a black lead here, with the black on the comm. And then you have to plug the red one into the appropriate connection for what you're doing. If you're doing capacitance, you got this 10 amp one here to go all the way up. You've got milliamps and I guess it'd be microamps. And you got your different fuse settings here. And then for volts, resistance, frequency, temperature, so on and so forth. On the right, that's probably going to be your two most common sets of ports. So you can also do frequency here. So if you need to measure things, sorry for this mosquito here. So if you're trying to measure things like RPMs, you can do frequency. And now just for fun, I'm going to take the tips of this off here. Let's see if you can see this on camera. I can hold this here like this. And I'm going to plug this into a set of hot outlets here. Had it for a moment there. There we go, 123 volts AC. I get a good connection here. You can see where there's that graph across the bottom showing you the, I believe that would be the frequency. So you got some other graphical display information there, that's good. We can also hold a reading if we want to be able to see it. You can flip on the light for the backlit display. Got some options there. Now for the strap, you want to hang this up. This is magnetic. You can hear that click there. So if you need to pop this onto the hood of a car, for example, you just have to run this little loop through this port right here at the top. You can see there's a little loop there. Just run this right through that. Again, I'm a little surprised this isn't black or yellow, but I'm not here to judge the color. I just want a functional tool. There we go. Now we can hang this up. So if we need to hang this and get this out of the way. Now this does not really have a good place where this would tuck into on the back necessarily in the way that maybe you would want. Nice if it did. So even if I flip that around like that, it doesn't really have a good way to hold that in place, but you can remove that and you got that as far as your leads back here. You can see where these would just snap into place like that. Obviously better with your the protection on, so you got the unit all protected there as one. Fingertip color codes, red and black on the leads there. Nice touch. And so then this gives you all the rest of the basic features of a multimeter. Now let's look at the temperature side of this. In order to do the temperature measurements on this, it comes with a thermocouple, a basic thermocouple, a K-type thermocouple. But then it's got this white adapter, which let's change this down to temperature. But then we look here, there's a positive and a negative side here. Put the negative down to the common port. Positive up there like that. Then from there we can plug our thermocouple in, and we can see this is reading 78.7 degrees Fahrenheit. Now there's other thermocouple options or K-type thermocouple options if you don't like that are not included. You know, just for an assortment of other ones that I keep around. I've got this probe one that plugs in. Any of these K-type thermocouples will work just fine. I've got this pipe clamp one. Maybe you might have seen this. I've got a snowblower heated handle test. I use this on there. I can also use this to check the temperature of hot water pipes coming out of my hot water heater. Great little extra little clamp to have. Has got it just built in there on the side. So you can use this with any of these K-type thermocouples. You can find a lot more of those on Amazon. You can also do wet bulb ones if you need to do that for HVAC and so forth. But you have to keep this adapter. I really wish it had a dedicated K port, and that's one of the main features that I really like on this meter here, which is actually, I think it's been discontinued for quite a while, is a dedicated temperature port. There's a few other Craftsman meters that have that on it, but I really wish that feature was on here. I know it would probably affect the IP67 rating, but I just find that I go to that temperature feature actually probably more frequently than most people do, just checking out temperatures for what's going on. Another set of accessories that you could use is an amp clamp. You can check amperage. You can also buy, I know X-Tech makes this one here. This is also a Craftsman branded one of an AC amp clamp that goes around. I got another video about this here where you can test using a line splitter and then plug this in here to test amperage this way, as this does have an amp function here, or you can have some other amp clamps that will do that. Just for comparison on these leads, these are the basic leads that came with my older meter. These are a little bit dusty right now, but these wires and these leads definitely have a more premium finish to them. These are rated for up to 1,000 volts. The leads on my other ones here are rated also up to 1,000 volts, but these just have a nice, maybe more premium feel to them, which is great. And so we can also cap the leads here, which is what I'm going to do just to protect them. You should always want to protect your leads, even though these are obviously not connected right now. Here's the other one. And then we also have our Bluetooth function. And so there's an app you can download for this, and we're going to go inside and take a look at what that looks like inside, and we'll continue on with this video. To get started installing the app, I've got the Google Play Store open on my Android phone. This is just an extra device that I've got here. And I'm going to search for the phrase smart meter in the App Store here, doing this real time. And if we scroll up here, the app we want is called Smart Meter, and it's listed from Sears Brand Management Corporation. The other way to get the app is to follow the QR code. I'll put a picture of that on the screen here, and I'll put also a direct download link below in this video. So feel free to jump to that or scan that while you're watching this video on the screen and click the pause button. And then with the app here, we're going to click install. This is a free app. It's going to say it's got access to just a handful of devices here, or I'm sorry, permissions. Click to accept. And then we'll let it install. Here we go. Now the app is installing 2.48 megabytes. This is advertised as being from the Sears Brand Management Corporation, which I think is kind of interesting as opposed to actually Sears Holding or Sears. So it's not under the same developer as the Craftsman apps, like their smart mower apps. And as this listed as Smart Meter, the app looks very similar to some of the Southwire apps, the M app specifically. Now, I tried to actually get this meter to work with the M app, but I had no such luck with that. As it goes through the install process here, we're just going to be patient with it. The time it takes you to download may depend on your Wi-Fi connection, your Android device. There's also supposedly an iOS version of this here. I can't speak to that. I only have Android devices. And so now to be able to pair this, I've already done this once before. So one of the things that you don't do is actually go into your Bluetooth settings and try to pair it from there. We actually are going to have to open the app. And then we're going to have to first click through that we agree to the license agreement. And then we get the screen here that says turn on Smart Meter Bluetooth. Now, with the two devices side by side, I'm going to turn on the meter here to the setting I want. We'll just go for volts to start with. And then I'm going to click and hold on the relative button with the triangle. It has the little Bluetooth logo above it. And then it's going to put a little Bluetooth icon in the corner. We're going to tap the scan, and it'll pull up a little thing here to show the available devices. So what's a little quirky is we actually don't go through our Bluetooth settings and try to pair it and put in a pin number. This here pops up here. This is the 19746, matches the model number here. You can actually rename this in the app. And once we tap on that to get it connected here, you can see the readings here should match. This is showing, I'm in DC voltage right now. Actually, I'll flip this here to AC. There we go. And we can dial it around and it'll read here and put out this little plot of whatever the voltage is that you're seeing on your leads. So let's just touch the leads together. It's not quite going to zero them out, but anyway, so you can see how that works, and we can sit here and flip our modes. And the app will automatically flip around to whatever it is. So now if you look a little more here at the app, we've got some options. We've got a yellow button at the corner that allows us to, quote, record the readings. We can stop it and we can give it a name, and then it'll also allow you to export it as a CSV file or a text file. I'll just click cancel here. We also have the ability to take a picture. Or in this case here right now we got a screenshot of whatever the reading is, so we can do that. Now if we go up here and we want to, let's see, we want to go up under files, we can view saved files. So here's one from the other day. We can go back and we can see, here's it's a sample plot that I did of AC voltage. Now what this won't do is let me actually play back this recording here. So this sort of looks like an oscilloscope, if you will. And if I click edit, you can see there's notes here. And I actually was able to add a picture. I showed my setup here and the specific outlet that I tested. I could add whatever notes I wanted to this. Click back. And then I can click the little button down here, and then I can sit here and share this and send this to, over email. You could send it to whatever other device you need to, just for your record management. Under the setup here, we've got some options here. We can add GPS coordinates to our data that we collect, so we know exactly where this reading was. So for example, if you're running around town collecting readings from different meters in other warehouses, or I don't know, whatever it is, you could do that. You could set up to give you a high-low alarm for whatever function that you want and whatever units that are appropriate, voltage, current, resistance, capacitance, that if it hits some alarm, you can hear it sound a little remote chime. Under sounds, I got the sounds on. You can change the Bluetooth name. So right now this is just named 19746, the model number of it, but you can give it a whatever name you want that makes sense to you. And under recording here, we can sit here, and this is important here, change the duration of the recording. So right now I got the set only to record 1 minute, but you could have it go up to whatever it is. Now unfortunately, you have to declare how long you want the recording time to be before you actually begin the recording. Then you can adjust your sample rate here. Now under the sample rate, we can go as little as 0.2 seconds between samples. 0 minutes and 0.2 seconds between samples, so that's our maximum sampling rate. So if we go back and we look at our info here, this just gives us our license info here. You can read all about the license agreement if that's your thing. Under our folders here, we can view our data. We can adjust where things are saved and delete readings. Pull up old files. Upload them, delete them. And if we go back to the actual reading here, here's where we're at. This is looking at DC voltage. One of the little quirks, you can see it says DC there. If you know your little symbols up here, you can see that at a quick glance for what it is. It gives you your units. Got your Bluetooth icon in the corner. I'm not really sure that that's really necessary. Today's date up in the upper corner, so that today is September 9th when I'm recording this video. We got our picture down here. And you can see we cannot actually take a picture while the recording is in progress. I cancel. Now if I save this recording and I call it test 2, save. So now if I want to go back and look at my files here for test 2, the one that we just made, now I can edit this, and then here is where I can actually add and take the picture of whatever it is I just tested. So that little shutter button at first is just a screenshot, but you have to actually save the data, and then you can take a picture of whatever it is that you tested and saved, and then you can obviously manipulate this to be whatever you want it to be that's appropriate for your nomenclature. And so that's just a quick look at the app. Now I've noticed that the app's been a little finicky every now and then for trying to make sure that it connects here, and it might take a time or two to pair. For whatever reason, I don't have a good sense for exactly what's causing that. And then the other thing that I've tried a couple of times to get to work, which has been unsuccessful, what I've tried a couple of times unsuccessfully is the Southwire M app, which looks identical to the smartmeter app from Craftsman. Here, if you click connect device, it'll try to scan. I've had zero luck with this actually connecting to this device. So I'm guessing there's some sort of back end with whatever the serial number is that this is looking for and what this is putting out that prevents the connection. But the software, from what I can tell, looks to be 100% identical from looking at the screenshots of the Southwire app on the on the Google Play Store. If you look at the reviews over there, it's another good place to compare it because they're essentially the same app. The version number is just a little different. And so I'm hopeful that in the event that app becomes the actual app for this becomes unavailable, maybe there's some way the Southwire app will then be able to magically adapt to accept this one. That would be great. And so with that, that's a look at the Craftsman ProSeries 19746 Bluetooth auto ranging digital multimeter. Hope you found this video useful and interesting, and have a great day. Bye.